here today to announce that the Justice Department has secured felony guilty pleas from the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, Binance.
Actually, it's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Largest virtual.
Binance.
Binance. And let me be clear. It's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Council has discussed crypto regulations and legislations at length, and we have come to the conclusion that instead of regulating, we are going to ape a fat bag each into laptop and pump it to over $1,300,000,000,000,000,000,000,000 market cap. Let's fucking go, crackheads.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Morning Coffee. I got my coffee locked and loaded, ready to go, because we have to talk about crypto, as the crypto market is in the red, but we have some coins that are pumping. Today it's oracles, and we need to figure out a little bit what is going on right now, where is the rest of the altcoin season, and look a little bit more into the macro again to understand what's happening. Also, for Ecomi, the time where I did not have anything to report on is apparently over for good, because today and yesterday and the days before, suddenly everyone is talking about Ecomi. There is news coming out, there is things to talk about, so this is really good, and we are going to talk about it in the stream, so make sure to stay all the way through. So, good morning to each and every one of you. I see a couple of people are already here. Make sure to smash up the like button if you are for the stream. We do see that the crypto market in general, the altcoin market specifically, is mostly in the red, but we do have some coins that just pump out of nowhere. And this is what we talked about in the last days. We will see this more and more now, that some coins are just in the waiting room, and then every coin has their turn to do some multiples and to show what they are made of, right? And today it's Pyth, right? We are going to talk about in a second why this is happening, but first I would like to look at the macro. So we do have this phase where Bitcoin is ranging, and really just having a pump, and then it comes back a little bit, and then it has another small pump, and it comes back a little bit. So basically flows in and out of Bitcoin. And we did have the GDP growth quarter over quarter for the second one coming in higher than expected. So overall, this should be okay-ish, right? But sometimes good news is bad news and so on, because right now we want the Fed to cut the rates. And if data is coming in bullish, that is actually bearish in the market perceived, right? So no real reactions there, because people are like, yeah, GDP growth, nice, really, really cool. But on the other side, also not so cool, because we don't want to have the Fed say, hey, but GDP is fine, we can keep the rates where they are, right? That's not what we want. So I think there's a little bit, everyone's a little bit still in the waiting game. And we know that Bitcoin's worst performing month in history is coming up in 2 days, and that is it 2 days, or is it I don't know, is it 30 or 31st? I don't know. Anyways, but September is coming up, and that's traditionally down couple of percent month for Bitcoin. But is it also for altcoins? That is the question, right? So we need to talk about this, and we do have some big fat news for Bitcoin actually, and that is that Tether has just announced to launch USDT on the Bitcoin blockchain, and usually, at least for altcoins, when there were stable coins launched on the chain, then that was good. Will it change the game for Bitcoin? Unclear, right? We will have to see the implications. But maybe that's for getting more projects onto Bitcoin, I don't know. But the real deal for us in the altcoin season is this, and this is absolutely nuts because this has a page 2, right? Here's page 2. And this is the list of the ETF filings for different altcoins or Bitcoin altcoin combination, okay? So we have the issuers here like Hashtags and Bitwise and Franklin Templeton and Grayscale and VanEck, Fidelity, everyone's here, right? CoinShares, 21 shares is in here, Ethereum ETF options, Canary Sui ETF. So what do we see here is the altcoin season is made, that we are going to experience is going to be institutionalized in the large caps, right? So we do see, we have Bitcoin ETH, we have basket ETF here, so multiple Bitcoin ETH, basket, Litecoin, Solana, like 8 times Solana, Doge, XRP, 6 times XRP, Cardano, HBAR, Polkadot, Doge, DOT, XRP, AVAX, Ethereum, Sui, Tron, all, right? Crypto ETP generic listing standard, right? And so on. You look at the second page, you have more Chainlink, you have Solana, you have 4 times basket ETF, like a Truth Social Crypto Blue Chip ETF or CranShares Coinbase 50 Index ETF. So what we've been talking about, we've been talking about this happening years ago, right? You remember, everyone who is subscribed to this channel remembers this. We've been talking about that this is going to happen years ago on this channel, and now it's actually happening. We do see that the filing dates, the final deadline dates are towards the end of 2025. They are probably going to be launched now somewhere. We will see, right? Some of these will be rejected, who knows? But once these are launched, there will be so much money flowing into these assets, right? So it's a multi-asset and alt-focused ETF base that we are going to get. And that would mean that wherever companies or rich individuals are going through these and buy a basket ETF, if your coin is part of the top 10, top 50, or top 100, it's going to pump like hell, right? Because they just get money allocation without the intentional allocation to this, right? They just, whatever it is, they get allocation. So these are, I'd say these are easily close to 100 ETFs that are lined up here, right? Some of these already have a ticker. Some of these don't. So we do see many are approaching, either have passed through or approaching their first or their first, second, third deadlines. So it's really, it's interesting to see. Now, another one is we have a big divergence from global M2 and the rest, the real market, like like not the market in itself, but Bitcoin, right? So we expect after this depeg to repeg, so to say, right? So we have a decorrelation. We expect this to catch up. We sometimes have this here. We see it in the other way around. It kept up higher, and then it followed it and realigned with the global M2 chart, right? So we expect that for Bitcoin once again at some point that Bitcoin catches up, and that's probably going to be a fat pump, right? If that happens, the more we deviate here, the more this probably pumps. Here we do see it also on the total 3, and this is from RoadPal saying, let's talk about crypto waiting room. Many key part of the crypto ecosystem are key parts of the crypto ecosystem are in the waiting room, ready to launch. let's look at a few. You will have yours too, and so on, right? So you see here, total 3 is waiting room, ready to launch, right? Others, his view, right? I pull them up as well, you know. I have a different view on these with cup and handle patterns and so on, but his view, right? The others chart, ready to launch. ETH broke already out, right? And so on. So it's not only us who sees this, but many in the crypto space are seeing this. And today, the move is on Pyth, right? So it's just what it is. It's today. Crow correcting 12% in the meantime, right? So that's just the nature of the game. Now, quickly, let's welcome everyone here in the chat, guys. Make sure to smash up the like button, especially for the rare hodlers. We do have Trucking Hank and Puka Liotrich in the house from the rare hodler fam. Besides that, we do have Diviner Singh, JW, and Ronai in the house. Let's see the chat a little bit. Let's see the questions. Awesomeness redefined. Thank you. We do. Hey PH, what do you think about the OMI chart? Also in regards to RSI. Always love to hear your opinion. Thank you. And yes, we are going to look at OMI extensively, more towards the second part of the stream. You know, I'm saving the best for later. Yeah. But yeah, this is what we're planning. Then we do have Trucking GM, we do have Jay. And what are your thoughts on September? Do you think it will be red like usual, or that it will play out different as cycle seems longer than expected to rate cuts? Good question, right? So for this one, I will answer straight away. I do think that we will see some red initially. But I think that since everyone expects it, it might be already happening, right? You know how people front run and then suddenly it doesn't happen the same anymore as before. Like, for example, usually we used to crash before the halving and then pump after the halving, but everyone anticipated the pump before the halving and then we crashed after the halving. So some things shift. Once everyone is aware how it's going to, then it happens differently, right? So it's unclear to me, but I do think that we might see a little bit red as first in the first part everyone's going to sell and then confirmation bias, right? Everyone's see, I was right, and then everyone buys premature, and then we're going to see it pumping already in September. Maybe that happens, right? JW says, I prefer a big run to the upside for VeChain. Yeah, but I think it's maybe not now, not today, but we will have the day where VeChain has the big bubble. We had Ecomi now we had Crow yesterday or the whole week. Now we have Pyth, right? So those next week maybe it's Polkadot, right? Who knows? We did have an initial move out of Avi. We did have a week where ADA went really well. So this is the initial overlap between Ethereum phase and the rest of the market, in my opinion. Ronai Arnold says, good day, mate. How is it going? Smash up the likes for more alpha. VAT is top 47, so it might pump hard. Exactly. These ETFs, they will catch the larger caps, right? And it's always good to have a mixed bag, in my opinion, of larger caps and then smaller caps. Right now, these coins that we see here in the top 1 to 100, they will be subject to those mixed bag ETFs more likely than others, right? Can you check Jasmy or XLM? Yes, of course. And I think I think they are also here, up here in the big one. XLM is placed 15 and Jasmy is 105. So Jasmy is just outside of the top 100, but a small pump, and this changes quickly. So why is Pyth pumping? Yeah, let's go into that. And Chainlink not, which is weird, but okay. So we do have the US Department of Commerce tapping into protocol for economic data on-chain, right? So Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick and President Donald Trump announced the partnership cementing Pyth's role as the backbone of on-chain economic statistics. So for those who don't know it, Pyth is basically a competitor oracle to Chainlink, right? And Chainlink is already the set industry standard for almost everything that's happening. And also in this endeavor, Chainlink is set, but Chainlink is already big and fat and everyone knows it. Whereas for Pyth, it's more a surprise, right? So for the first time, GDP figures and other core data will be published directly onto the blockchain, instantly accessible to over 600 applications across more than 100 integrated networks with Pyth. So why do you need that? Because all of the economic data being published and in a second available on all these trading desks and so on, that's probably going to be important for all different financial applications, trading bots, financial products, and so on, that the data is available directly. And that's what Chainlink does, what Pyth does. They bring real-life data, so to say, onto the blockchain, and every blockchain connects to them, basically. And then if you are a data provider, you can be rewarded in their tokens. That's usually, that's how it used to work. I don't know. I have not read into the depth of the tokenomics of those projects, but more or less that was how it went. And then the users of the chain, they use the token to pay the providers of the data. And then at least there were I think on Chainlink it was stakers. So if you were a provider, you had also to stake some part of the tokens, and then if you delivered shitty data, then your tokens got slashed, something like that. How significant is the US Department of Commerce Pyth news? This marks a critical step forward in how governments interact with decentralized technology. Verifiable data rails unlock a new generation of efficiency, transparency, and trust. The news comes against the backdrop of shifting regulatory attitudes in Washington after several prosecutions against software developers. The Justice Department recently clarified that writing code is not a crime. Today's announcement underscores the administration's pivot towards embracing blockchain as part of U.S. financial modernization efforts. Or, in short words, previous government was against all of this. This government pro all of this. So protocols that deliver stuff to the government basically are doing well, hence Pyth big fat pump. Let's check out the charts. And let's answer also the question if Chainlink is the next, right? Is Chainlink the next to go? Because Chainlink has big news, but no one really wants to pump this thing like crazy, right? This is the Binance chart. Is there more? Let's see. OKX. Yeah, there we go. This is the launch chart. So it's not around since ever. Basically, it hasn't seen the last bull run. And what seems to be happening is that you have somewhat like a downward sloping trend-ish thing here going on, right? Where you're breaking out now, big fat breakout, fat volume, no overbought indicators and so on, right? So looks really nice what is coming out of Pyth. And I do think that this is just getting back to previous levels, right? We do have an all-time high at 120, which I expect to be approached and broken, which would be easy 5x for this project. So I think Pyth could be even, let's just say that it does the same as Crow and it corrects after pumping, right? Then let's just say it encounters resistance, it comes back here, I don't know, something like that. It would be, in my opinion, it would be a buy for the altcoin season. A buy for a shorter holding time, right? Once it retraces. Because now we do see a strength move. But right now, buying into this green candle is very risky, as sell the news and so on could be coming in and then everyone's sad again, right? So let's see. But this could turn into something like an inverse head and shoulders here, and then the real run comes in October or something like that. I think for many coins it's possible to get really nicely into position here. Also Link, USDT, right? Link is already nice, underway, but let me quickly go also here into a higher time frame chart. But it also, I mean, for Link it's different, right? For Link we did have a previous run. The previous run went to 25. We are already at 24 right now. So going back to all-time highs is only 100% pump, right? For Link, it was really back then when we also said like this is the biggest fat base. You guys that are long time here, you remember when we talked about Chainlink and said this is the biggest and most beautiful base that I've ever seen in a bear market, and then it broke out and it perfectly retested on top of that base, and now we have basically a fat cup and handle pattern that is almost ready to break out, and then Chainlink can go back to its all-time high and then into price discovery, because I do think that Chainlink should be one of the coins that is able to take out the all-time high and go in the direction of $100 per coin, right? Which would be a 4x from here. And Chainlink, don't make no mistakes, it could, right? But also these coins are extremely big already. That it has 16 billion market cap. So what I'm saying here is that it should be going to like 60 billion, right? But looking at the network and what Chainlink provides in this industry, I would say that 60 billion valuation is FUD. Okay, so just to outline where I do see Chainlink. I mean, Chainlink went in the last run 14,000% rally in 800 days. Chainlink was one of the coins that did pump early and then did nothing for many months. We will see what happens here in this phase, but we do have for Chainlink as the one, we do have a bull cross that is already confirmed here, and the bullish momentum just starting. We do have an RSI that is only at 60. We do have a TSI bull cross, which only happened one time before, and that was here. And on this TSI bull cross, it was a 4x out of the coin. So why not have another 2x, 3x here, right? Out of Chainlink. So that could be happening. Now we did have those two in the spotlight here for today. I hope you like that. Right now we're bringing more altcoins into the focus. We did have the request to look at Jasmy and XLM. So let's look at those as well, even though they are not in the spotlight. So XLM, Stellar. We do have the same, in my opinion, it's basically this, and we can get rid of this stuff here, because the only thing that really matters is, in my opinion, we have the same unfolding as on Chainlink for another breakout, something like that, right? And then go time. It is bigger than Chainlink even, so don't expect too big of returns. We did have this pump, and by the way, we did also talk about profit taking up here, right, when this happened, because of the RSI. We talked about this extensively yesterday, that I think the RSI, especially on the monthly, is a good marker to say, okay, we are going, especially when we hit 80, which we did here briefly on this week, right? And then from there, make no mistakes, that was a 65% correction. So once this is happening and you get into this territory, and you are in profit, that's not a bad place to take profits. Right now, we are sitting at 37 cents, whereas the all-time high was at 80 cents. So just going back to that high would be a 122% move. I do expect XLM to go higher than that because everything here looks promising. You have a bull cross, you have a non-overbought RSI, you are in bullish momentum on the monthly, so there is good reason to believe that XLM is going to go higher. Jasmy, let's look at Jasmy also quickly. Jasmy is a different story here. Let me see if I can get more chart. A little more. Is there more, or did it start like this? Okay, it seems to be like this. So for Jasmy, we do have a high here, and then it got sold off really dirty at 50 cents, and now we are at 1 cent. So what is important to see is when was this? This was in bull run 21. The important thing is you can't just say that you're gonna go 3,000% here for sure just because back to all-time high on every coin. There are coins that have been diluted since this happened, right? So they got more coins into circulation. I don't know if that's the case for Jasmy, but it could be happening, right? So and the way to find this out is basically, let me do one thing here. Okay, so the way to find this out is this, right? So I'm here on ChatGPT 5, and we can just go, has Jasmy since its bull run in 2021 experienced token dilution, and if so, how much? Okay, so let's see what this thing does. Okay, so token dilution since 2021 bull run, yes, substantially. Here's the breakdown. Supply back then versus now. Early circulation, Reddit users estimate that the circulating supply was under 5 billion tokens at the peak price. As one user put it, at all-time high for Jasmy, there were less than 5 billion coins circulation. Now there are nearly 50 billion coins in circulation. That's 10x dilution from all-time high. CoinGecko lists the circulating supply at around 48 billion. Coinbase reports 49.44 billion. Maxi and Token Insight similarly confirm a max supply of 50 billion. Dilution calculation from 5 billion to 50 billion. That means that, and do you see how if you don't use AI, you get wrecked? Because it took me 30 seconds to find out that now from here to go back to my all-time high, I need a market cap 10 times bigger than before to be able to reach these prices. So if Jasmy goes to its bull market cap once more, that would mean it only goes to 4.7 cents, which is still fine from a pump perspective, right? If you have bought more over the dilution, but that's only 230% and not 3,000%. So the risk on these coins is that people are, once it starts pumping, people are expecting a 50 cent valuation, which not necessarily might happen, right? So be very careful with coins that have been diluted during its bear market. And Filecoin is another one of those. Cardina is another one of those, right? So and there, I think coins like VeChain and Ecomi and so on, they are superior to this because they did not have dilution in that sense, right? Their maximum supply is the same as before, especially on VeChain. There has been no further dilution. if any, you would have less tokens in circulation because people would lose their stuff, right? Do you reckon Superverse is a good investment? I cannot say, because for Superverse, I just don't, I did not look into it. It's place 150. So I would say most of the altcoins that are around are not good investments, in the sense that investing, staying long term, right? I do think that 90% of those altcoins are good vehicles to maximize profits in a very short time, and then get the, like, with small dust cloud behind yourself, get the fuck away from them, right? That is what I believe is probably happening. So yeah, I think wormhole. Oh, there is someone asked wormhole to the moon. Yeah, so let's check out. Actually, I don't know what they do. So let's ask directly the AI. What does wormhole crypto do? Let's check this out. And I'm purposely doing this on stream here, because I do think that many people don't use AI sufficiently yet, and they don't see unless someone shows them that they're supposed to the minimum what I'm doing here, right? Like, you ask it stuff, you know. Wormhole is a cross-chain messaging and interoperability protocol that enables secure transfer of assets, NFTs, and arbitrary data across different blockchain ecosystems. It acts as a universal bridge or communication layer, letting blockchains talk to another. Initially launched in 2021 by Jump Crypto, Wormhole began primarily as a bridge between Solana and Ethereum. Interesting, right? Over time, it evolved to generalized interoperability layer, often referred as Wormhole v2. On-chain components, Guardian network, blah blah. Key use case: asset portability, seamless transfer, fungible tokens, and NFTs cross chains. This is interesting for the NFT industry, right? We do find here another reason how NFTs could get traction out of a project like that, right? So if there is NFT cross-chain transferability, this could be very, very interesting, right? So cross-chain messaging, send arbitrary data commands, enabling features like cross-chain governance, gaming logic, DeFi interactions, software developer kit, offered APIs. So it seems to be a really cool thing, to be honest. But the question is, how? So what is Wormhole core function architecture? Okay, so now the question is, how does the tokenomics on work? How do token holders benefit? Okay, this is because sometimes you have something like Atom, where basically the token was not benefiting at all, or you have some tokenomics like 10 billion tokens, initial circulation 1.8 billion, so only 18% in circulation, locked up 82%, with unlocking phase over 4 years following the token generation event. Be very careful, because it's in dilution. So this means what happened to Jasmy last cycle is going to happen to Wormhole right now, you know. So you can write this for pump, but if you stay in, you get 80% of the tokens in the next bear market dumped into your face, right? So over the, yeah, you see remaining, unlock. So you can see, you can have AI give you the whole vesting schedule, which means like 99% of degenerates are not going to use AI. They are just buying whatever shitcoin, which means if you're using AI to discover the tokenomics of what you're intending to buy, you're ahead, you're 1% of the space, right? You're ahead of everyone else, right? So as of now, approximately 4.73 billion tokens have been unlocked and are in circulation. The remaining tokens continue to unlock via cliff-style vesting schedule, large unlocks after waiting periods, extending through around 2028. Then it's gone, right? Tracking tools like Tokenomist help monitor, blah blah. Okay. Governance and protocol. So it's a governance token. Staking. Okay, they have staking. This is good because then they can get TVL, right? Staking program. AVM chains on Solana, earn incentives from staking, support network security, gain yield while actively participating in the ecosystem, paying fees, securing network operation, interacting, governance. So it seems to be a wholly integrated token, right? This wormhole thing. So it doesn't look bad, but if you're getting into position on wormhole or you are in position, we need to be. It's already 500 million market cap. Doesn't mean it cannot 10x from here, right? But we need to be conscious that we want to get out of this token in this bull run. We do not want to hold this back, right? Let's see here. WSDT. Oh, that other chart was better. Okay. So it seems, and I mean, someone had bought this already, right? At 184. So this thing is down 94% right now. So of course here, this is nice if from the other side if you got in here. But overall, first of all, there's no guarantee that this doesn't go like this first before it pumps in September, right? I mean, this is the monthly, so probably it's going to look, yeah. But this looks bullish, right? So this looks more like it wants to do. Wormhole wants to do a bullish reversal pattern. Actually, it's already doing it. If you put it that way, you have inverse head and shoulders breakout, where's the retest confirmation, and then boom time, right? So this could be a buy. This could be a buy because but only with a minimum of like, I buy this, we go for like 60 days maximum, and then like until in where you say, okay, altcoin season's booming, get rid of this thing, right? But overall, this seems to be really good when I'm looking at this. As we do see, it's only at RSI 45. It has been like crazily oversold before. Yeah, this could be a buy. This could be a buy, but perform your own research, use AI and so on. This could be a buy. Now, because of the time, we're going to move and jump to Ecomi. Now, where is my Ecomi chart? That's others. Did I lose my? Oh no, there it is. There we go. Ecomi is continuing to form its bull flag that we had. It extended a little bit the bull flag that we had yesterday on the 4-hourly chart, and I'm not used to 4-hourly chart, but in this case, it's absolutely valid. And it seems that we are forming a compressing pattern for Ecomi that very likely, more likely than not, is going to turn bullish here and pump. Okay, the indicators have been cooling off sufficiently. We will see though. Of course, there's no guarantees. This can break to the downside, and then we get a deep correction, right? Because there's nothing. There is only air. This big air pocket under this, right? So if not, we get a big fat correction to 0.0023 if we break this to the downside, but I don't think so. I think we'll bounce and have a couple of more hours here until we go for another try at least to the upside, right? And then maybe this unfolds into a pattern that is more visible on the daily. Who knows, right? The volume has decreased a little bit in this phase, but that's fine. Volume goes away until the next breakout. So what I expect is this, but we can't be sure. If it goes back to this, and you have a Bart Simpson style here or something like that, I think this would be a buy there, right down there. Because I do think that, let's go out of into the daily. I mean, on the daily, it looks different, right? You can talk about bull flags all along, but on the daily, it looks different. What we want to see that even if we don't break out here, or if we are unsuccessfully break out here, we do want to see that this turns into a daily bull flag and then goes again, right? We do also, right, on the daily, we do have an RSI of 92, which supports the RSI theory, right? The RSI was 92. It's already cooled off in this retracement, but maybe not sufficiently, right? Maybe there's a multi-day cool off thing coming in where you, right? So I'm telling you possibilities here for OMI, but the overall thing is that OMI it's just fucking great, man. It's just so great. 216%. And now it is correcting 30%. Okay, so that's absolutely normal. And look at this nice, beautiful volume. The whales have stepped in to make their move, right? Really nice. Going on the weekly, bigger time frame. This is one of the only times where we do see a relatively filled candle here on the weekly. Since back then in 2024, this year is the first time that we do see momentum like this. We did see it only one time in December 24, and that was during the first Altcoins are still alive event, right? So, and back then we went to 00069. So I agree with Ernie. By the way, Ernie, nice to see you. This is nothing, just getting started. Real good things are happening. Exactly. A lot is happening. We're going to cover that as well. And by the way, look at this. This was the last bull run Google Trends on Ecomi, by the way. Look at the search volume. But if we go last 90 days, for example, we did not have much search volume, but then suddenly when OMI started to make some moves and it was appearing, people actually were looking up Ecomi, right, on Google. Hey, good morning, PH, says Ernie, coming home from Colombia to see Ohio kick Texas ass on Saturday. I don't know what that means, because I am like this European football head, but okay. Colombia kicks Ohio. No, how is it? Coming back from Colombia. So Ohio kicks Texas ass. Okay, is that football? Is that NFL? What are you talking about? Or is that like baseball? Or is it, what is it? Let me know, because let the noob know. Maybe I can even watch something like this. I don't know. Probably it's in the middle of the night or something like that. But I'm always interested in it. When I went to the US for the first time, which is not long ago, I attended a baseball match, and to be honest, I think it's quite boring sport. But it was still interesting to talk with people that actually know their stuff and they're like super crazy about baseball. But like, what, sitting there, it's like you sit there, you eat, you chill out, and sometimes someone is hitting a ball, and then, you know, it was, but to be fair, I mean, maybe it was also not the best team of all. I was watching the Atlanta Braves back then. Ohio as the football reigning national championship, college football. Okay. Yeah, and in the US, like these college leagues, they are super crazy, right? But anyways, back to OMI before everyone gets bored here on me talking about something I don't know about. Sorry, that we already had yesterday. But here, so apparently, this guy said, you mentioned only scratching the surface at Foster Hill. What percentage of what is lined up for OMI utility have you landed or openly discussed so far? Go on, mate. Very subtle bit of alpha. And the subtle bit of alpha is this. Tip of the iceberg. So apparently a lot is going to come for OMI here. and some of it has been revealed, some of it not. Let's talk about it. Here we go. So there's this leaderboard rewards where you can get OMI that has been leaked before. We did cover it when it leaked on this channel already. But you have this, okay, collect what you love and earn rewards. 100 million OMI is up for grabs on the weekly and monthly leaderboard starting September the 1st. So get ready, get into position, stack a wallet with OMI and so on. Will you compete to be the Stacker World Leaderboard champion? Okay, so this is the original post. Get ready for this leaderboard thing. There's an article that can be read. How does this work? Users are about to be rewarded for collecting like never before. Starting September 1st, Stacker will launch an exciting leaderboard system that rewards active traders with OMI token, with massive 100 million OMI token reward pool, sponsored by Ecomi. Leaderboard rewards are taking your collecting journey with Stacker on the next level. So with over 11.5 million digital collectibles and so on, the VeVe disclaimer. Okay, weekly leaderboard. So every week, 10 million OMI tokens are distributed. Rewards are split among the top 25 users. Fresh opportunities to compete. Monthly leaderboard is also happening. 60 million OMI tokens are distributed monthly. Rewards are split among top 100 users. Larger reward pool for consistent engagement. How it works. The system is elegantly simple. Users earn points based on the amount of OMI tokens burned during market activity on Stacker. Every purchase contributes to your leaderboard position. There is no enrollment requirement for leaderboard rewards. Users will automatically begin to earn points from their first purchase in the marketplace. They can view the position and on both the weekly and monthly leaderboard directly on Stacker Marketplace. The funny thing is, you can, if you wanted to purchase anyways, you can just shift it towards Stacker and you basically can earn a cashback, because if you're purchasing, you're very likely to end up in the top 100 if you're purchasing some things, right? If you wanted to purchase a bigger collectible anyways, probably worth to purchase everything at once in 1 week so you get some kind of a OMI cashback, right? But we're going to talk about this as well, right? Leaderboards will update regularly and so on. So we're definitely going. So it would be cool if we also could have drop participation counting into this, but we're not that far yet, right? True OMI token utility. All VeVe users can now buy and sell VeVe digital collectibles using the OMI token, marking the first time. VeVe collectors can trade directly with OMI. Cost-effective trading, cross-platform availability. Collectibles bought with OMI on Stacker can be sold for gems in VeVe and vice versa. And this is interesting, right? Because here we do have it also from Foster. Fun with numbers. A week ago, this collectible cost you $1,250, 6.9 million OMI. But today, it does cost you $1,250 still, but with only 3.5 million OMI, right? So if you bought $1,250 of OMI last week, you could buy this collectible and still have 3.4 million OMI, so to say, in the pocket, right? Which means that what's going to start right now is people are going to buy OMI, and then when OMI pumps, they are trying to grab collectibles that still are listed for the or that are freshly listed for a certain dollar value, right? So, but then they gain the profit out of OMI, and then they buy the collectible, and then they're probably going to try to sell the collectible for more OMI back, right? When OMI dumps. So, an interesting mechanic is unfolding here, right? It's going to be interesting who's going to discover that meta. And the funny thing is, if you play it that way and you buy it for these 3.5 million, you're burning OMI, so you're going to go up in this leaderboard, and then so you already burned the OMI, and then you can't sell this collectible back, making more OMI that you spend, you burn more OMI, and then you go up in the leaderboard, and then you get cashback OMI because you're up in the leaderboard, and then, right? So there is an interesting cycle where people just try to maximize their gains with using these leaderboards, buying collectibles, and by that naturally contributing to both OMI liquidity and the OMI prices in that ecosystem, right? So I think this is great. We will definitely try it out here on this channel. Maybe this weekend already. Let's check. No, it's not possible because it's launching on the 1st. So next week, earliest, we can try these leaderboard thingies and contribute to some OMI burns. Let's see. But it's going to be interesting, right? We'll definitely do some of this either on stream or in video format. But we do see very, very interesting stuff going on here on that side. So that is the OMI news. We do have collectible news also. We have a record Miles Morales on the physical side sale, which is a comic inside of VeVe that I also have. And this comic sold for $31,001 on a night. It's a one of one, so it's a only 9.9 grader out of 19,000 graded CGC comics. Of course, we will probably not be able to sell this Ultimate Fallout comic on VeVe for 31,000, but you can break this down and say the secret rare of this comic I think it has 600 editions. So you can break it a little bit down. If a one of one is worth that, what is a limited edition on 600 editions or 300 editions or whatever worth in VeVe, right? Which is cool because it's one of the only NFTs that has physical reference of collectors, right? And if there's really only this one of one, this only 9.9 grader in the world, then this is probably a really good deal because I bet that this is going to go in a couple of years for like 100,000 or something like that. So this is a really good deal, this 9 of 9. I mean, or not if there are new 9/9s appearing, but we do see that, for example, and this is interesting, the consensus 9.8 does have 4,500 editions and goes for $850. Now, putting the 600 editions or secret rare on VeVe into perspective, should be way higher than $1,000, right? Do you see how many editions are there? Or look at this, right? 9.6 are also 5,000 editions, $375. So the reality shows us that some of these comics that looks right now in this bear market territory as super diluted actually are not that diluted, right? In terms of the price. There are secret rares on this market in VeVe, maybe not that high of a comic in itself, but even on the comics that are worth a lot in the real world, that are having less than a fraction of this, like less than 1%, so the 40 or less than 2%, right, of this supply, and that are going for ridiculous low amounts of dollars at the moment in the market, right? So keep that in mind, and this is also why I'm bullish on comics, because they have this real life reference, and we will see once buyers are coming into the market that actually many of the comics that have been dropping in the bear market are extremely scarce. Of course, some of these are $1 bin comics and so on, but not everything, right? There are certain cover artists, there are certain secret rares that are only 40 editions, have their own appeal to it, right? So yeah, that is very, very crucial. And then we do have a big sale also on VeVe here for Spider-Man Ultimate Animated 640 mint for $7,911. 17,500,000 OMI was the floor. Crazy. I don't know how this. What I don't know is how the stacker price is here. The stacker floor is this, right? The price is apparently $7. I can't imagine, because I think the floor was like $2,000-$3,000. So maybe this is the new floor after the sale, and the sale maybe went through for like $3,500 or something like that. That is not clear to me yet. What we do have though, and that is very clear by on-chain data, is that we do have more users coming in here. We went from 916 to 932. So in this sense, we got in one day about 15 new users with non-zero wallet, which is pretty good, right? And we do have, as always, big action in the market. People are buying Todd McFarlane's. People are buying a ton of comics, posters, stacking. Of course, on every buyer there's a seller, right? We do see a lot of. Someone is minting Coca-Colas, even though the 1-of-1 is already gone, which is extremely good for VeVe if this stuff is still being minted. We do see golden moments being purchased. We do see all of this in the last hour again, right? So you can go to this VeVe Immuta scan and just see the market action minute by minute, which all of this is happening in 1 hour. Right, here you see also if it's a mint or a transaction. You do see this, but here you see 1 hour ago, right? We do see so many comics being minted also out of the comic side. By the way, this guy has an extremely cool ending of the wallet address 888848 is considered a lucky number among many people. So this guy 8888 is minting invincible Iron Mans, and so you see all in an hour ago everything of these things happened, right? I mean, it's nuts, because people say that, or many people said that VeVe is dead, but it's not. And this is something that we held up on this channel all the time. Like, VeVe is far from dead. They did have a rough time in the bear market where sales were not really high, but if you see the secondary market action here, that should be some fees that are rolling in here every hour, every 2 hours, a lot of fees for them. So this is good, right? Really, really good for them. And yeah, so by the way, this is a secret rare that I have. So someone bought that as well. Thor, God of Thunder. Yeah, I really like. I mean, I don't know how it will unfold until wedding day, but after that, oh, definitely there's some money left over to play around with this stuff. But for today, guys, unfortunately, we have to call it almost an hour again. Make sure to smash up the like button, subscribe to the channel, notifications on. And wherever you are on the world, have yourselves a great weekend, a great Friday, Freaky Friday, and enjoy your morning coffees, or wherever you are on the world. Enjoy your days. Good times are coming. We can feel it already. We can see it already. And I see you in the next live stream. Have a good day, everyone, and bye.